What was happening inside the company?
It felt like the company was kind of frozen. It was not the most productive 6 months at the company.
Even though the company feels or felt internally like there wasn't a lot going on, the rest of the world was buzzing. So I would head into headquarters, and my manager was saying, be careful because there are people out there that are wearing body cams. It was as if everybody just wanted a piece of the pie.
I think we didn't really know if it was really ever going to really happen until the last minute.
Yeah.
It was just such a roller coaster,
Right.
and it felt like a bad Netflix series.
But a lot of it unfolded on Twitter too. Like a lot of Twitter's culture is using the
Right.
product.
The deal happens. Elon Musk owns Twitter. Were any of you inside the company the day he walked in with the sink?
I wish I had. Oh my God, I wish I had.
I was.
Manu, you were the resident cartoonist. You gave your new boss a cartoon that was kind of making fun of him.
I picked one that would not be perceived as bootlicking, not being too kind, but I didn't want one that was so critical that he would fire me on the spot.
It was a very Twittery, response from you.
You break it, you buy it. Explain it.
Because he was damaging the company in many ways, like the stock was going up and down and it was just chaos. So I thought, if you break the company in a way, like the culture, even from the outside, so now you have to buy it.
What kind of communications did you have with Elon himself or his team? What were they telling you to do?
There were these lifeboat projects where Elon would just, in a random meeting say an idea, and all of a sudden that was one of the directives, top prime directives for the company to work on.
Yeah, that explains why I was reviewing so much documentation from teams and projects I've literally never heard of until that day.
I think it's a very common toxic management technique to keep people on very tight deadlines so they never have time to think. At some point, I made a very simple tool to help people save some of their documents, things that would be useful for future employment. And then I was fired 1 hour later. I mean, I was in mid-meeting. I was in a meeting for some high-priority Elon, have to be done by yesterday sort of project. And I was disconnected from the meeting.
We all received an email saying that the next morning you would receive one of two emails, one that would either go to your personal email telling you that you're no longer with the company, or to your work email saying that you're still at the company. For a lot of us, it would be our last day at Twitter, and for me it was. People just were putting the salute emoji into one of the company-wide Slack channels, and it was sort of amazing to watch that all sort of happening at once.
Now, this is like 4 days before the election, and Helen said you were working on election misinformation.
I was. I had so many windows open that day, trying to monitor midterm elections, trying to connect with different teams, and I checked the VPN. VPN is logged out, and that's how I found out that I had lost access and was no longer a part of the company. And I know I worked remotely, but I think that was truly one of the times where I felt the most alone.
Sean, you lasted longer than anyone.
Yeah.
And then you decided to resign.
I'm not the kind of person to have an illusion about company where you find my soulmates or devote. I guess I don't identify my core being with the company. The way layoffs were done, there was no grace to it. 2 weeks later, he sent an email, basically an ultimatum to Twitter employees. You have two options. One, you stay at Twitter 2.0 and work extremely hardcore. Two, get some severance and get lost. And I was like, this is my exit ticket. Yeah.
Turn down the hardcore approach.
I'm not very hardcore.
How many people does it actually take to keep Twitter up and running?
At some point, Twitter is a company that everyone was making fun of because Twitter went down all the time, fail whale. But then Twitter did a lot of good job making things stable. And there was a lot of innovative technology Twitter invented, it came up with.
And I think it's a testament to the existing engineers who wrote very robust systems. Some things can probably get done faster because there's sort of less management and bureaucracy and layers and things like that.
I had a former coworker at Google who said something like their product shipment strategy is constipated. So does that make Elon Musk like a big laxative or something?
Is it the public town square? Should it be held to a higher standard, or is it just a business?
Unique jewel.
I agree.
On the internet and in the world, and there's nothing quite like it. There's these other platforms and you can go there, but I think having a single space where, you can tweet at your congressperson and, there's a good chance they'll see it and there's a chance they'll reply and things like that. That's not happening on Facebook. That's not happening on Instagram. That's not happening on TikTok. I think it is important that there be some sort of public square on the internet.